All right, welcome back. Matt Davio here with Leigh Jones. Leigh is, you can follow Leigh on Twitter at Copper, as in the metal, St. Louis, but the abbreviated is Copper STL. So you are there in the middle of the country, St. Louis.
Downtown St. Louis.
That's the Midwest as far as I'm concerned. I grew up in Detroit, and I consider the Midwest really Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota. So you're definitely in the Midwest.
If anything colder than North Carolina is considered cold to me, so I don't care where it is. So
And
I don't do cold, and I'm learning.
And since you brought it up, you are not from St. Louis. You don't have a St. Louis accent.
Charlotte, North Carolina. And I try to lose it, but it just follows me. This accent follows me everywhere I go.
How long have you been in St. Louis?
About 2 years.
And what
About
brought
2 years.
What brought you there?
Just a little bit of business. I have worked as a corporate consultant, full-time trader now, but, in the early days, I was still consulting. So finishing up some projects.
Cool.
I've traveled the 48 weeks out of the year and had to learn how to trade like that for the last 10 years. So busy people can be traders, that's for sure.
What kind of consulting were you doing that you were, crafting your trading piece?
Okay, thank you for asking that. I do ISO 9000 and its derivatives, which is a quality management system. So I do aerospace, automotive, labs, hospitals.
Okay, so I can see how you, with all those, how you ended up in St. Louis. You got a lot of all those businesses. You got a lot of automotive. You got a lot of aero, and you have a lot of hospitals, obviously, with Jewish.
It worked great. I was right in the middle, and I could fly either direction, so it worked really well for me.
And were you working for a large company we're familiar with?
My company. So now you're familiar. Company. It was Leigh Jones Consulting. Isometrics. Awesome. Isometrics US. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was pretty, is that still a pretty hot field? I know that was definitely hot in the mid 90s. Is it still booming, the whole
It is, because now, absolutely, because now I'm into healthcare. So I'm doing ISO in healthcare. I just took one of the first major hospitals, ISO. It's a Baptist hospital. And consequently, let me just segue into this. They knew I was a trader.
Right.
So we began setting up classes for those medical professionals because their 401s were tanking over the last year. So they have learned how to trade. There's about 400 of those guys.
Really?
Learning how to trade. Isn't that something?
Are they doctors, nurses, clinicians, all walks of life?
All of the above. All of the above. Learning how to read charts and, if it's 401, great. If they want to do position trading, swing trading, but they are learning. I don't usually let people go live for about 6 months to a year.
That's smart.
I like for them to play with, the fake money. But, some of them are live now and they're ready to go.
Okay, so you come from the quality side. How did you get into this crazy business of trading, investing? Were you always interested in the markets as a young girl? Was it something
I was interested in business because I've had about 16 companies. Okay. But as I started working with my customers, I'm dealing with a lot of suppliers with Cat, Deere, the Bell helicopter, all these guys. And so I'm over on that manufacturing side. That kind of gave me my lead into the market, starting to watch their stocks and that type of thing. So when I began to trade, we didn't do online trading. We had to call our broker. You remember those days? Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way I learned too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Commissions were extremely high. So once we were able to do this online, I just realized this was it.
Yeah.
So learned how to set the alerts, set the triggers, and do this thing.
What did you study in? Did you go to college?
Yes.
What did you study?
I have a degree in English, manufacturing management. I have 5 degrees. Don't make me name them all.
I'm
and all the certificates to go with it.
I'm curious. What have you studied? English?
I have studied English, business, manufacturing management, marketing, and healthcare management.
Okay, that's a lot. How do you keep up? How do you keep up with it all?
Oh, because I don't sleep much.
But
we don't have time to sleep.
You look great. You look like you get enough sleep.
Well, thank you. It's because it's dark in here, so I usually look better in the dark. Usually.
Well, it's dark here, and I sure don't look like you do. So you got to be doing.
I can give you a makeover. Trust me, we can get that done.
I don't know. It's a lot of work.
Well, I can do miracles. But honestly, I'm one of these high energy people. So I love to draw, paint, play instruments. So there's just too much to do to sleep.
Yeah.
At one point, I was an idiot. I thought I could train myself to stay awake one night a week. so I could stay up all night and do things. And so the more I started working in hospitals, the more I realized that was not a smart move. So we do try to get